what would occur if in all of humanity, that knee-jerk reaction, that tendency within humanity, if it were to be raised to consciousness throughout the entire species right now, and rather than fearing the possibility, the negative possibility that we're going to fail socially by operating in a way that is not politically or socially correct or meeting the current standards of socially correct or politically correct speech, behavior, thought processes, is it possible to look upon the seemingly worst dimensions of humanity, the Hitlers of our world, or I don't know if you're familiar with Idi Amin, a dictator, or the president of Syria, or whoever or Vladimir Putin. Is it possible to look upon them with unconditional love right now? That does not mean advocating what they did. It does not mean validating it in any way. It does not mean setting it aside as if it was not important and as if it should not be understood for all of their negative effects in the world. It doesn't mean not learning from those destructive, terrible, painful sufferings of humanity that we wish had never occurred and had not been necessary on our learning path as human beings. And the question is, can we observe those in this present moment dispassionately, without attachment or aversion, seeing them from the space behind our hearts of our soul energy and our soul consciousness and our unconditional love? That doesn't mean making ourselves vulnerable to them. It doesn't mean forgetting their destructive tendencies. It doesn't mean allowing them to harm us. It doesn't mean ignoring any dimension of what truly is in the present moment. It does mean finding a way to help them learn to love, finding a way to help them learn to operate in unity, finding a way to help them learn to heal so that they can operate in support of conscious trust models and conscious collaboration sometime in the future. Is that a necessary goal? How many nations, genders, cultures, religions have some group or person or nation that they either fear, feel threatened by, don't trust, hate, or have been traumatized by in the past? Can we pretty much say all of them? If we continue to operate from those positionalities of woundedness, distrust, fear projection, judgmentalness, hatred, non-love, are we going to be able to unify? Are we going to be able to actually experience inclusiveness? Are we going to be able to actually experience equality if we are unwilling to forgive? That doesn't mean forget. It does mean recall the past accurately without fear, without hatred, without desire to punish, criticize, wound, or have a vendetta, or have an eye for an eye, or tooth for a tooth perspective on relationships. If we operate in those transactional modes, we will remain stuck in fear, mistrust, division, divisiveness, self-interest, agendas, positionalities, focuses, and we will miss the most precious moment that humanity has ever had, which is right now, to unify. This is our moment. This is where all of history, the history of humanity, where it's all coming together. These next few years are mission critical, crucial, vital. How we meet them is just as vital. Do we choose to meet them with projected tribal positionalities, values, belief systems, vantage points, unresolved wounding, hatred, anger, or hurt? Or do we choose to meet them with present moment, courageous, vulnerable, unconditionally loving, trust, faith, possibility thinking, care, and conscious collaboration? How different a paradigm are we describing from the way the world has been for thousands or millions of years? How important that we recognize that this conscious choice is right in front of us, right now. It's available to every person on the planet right this second. If we choose it, we will all benefit. If we choose it, we will all have the best potential for a happy future life. So we would suggest that we can make the biggest rocks in the jar a sustainable future. The biggest rocks in the jar, conscious collaboration. The biggest rocks in the jar, love and care and service. And be unshakable in those approaches, not positionalities, values, approaches, vantage points, and that there would be no projection and no obscuration in those processes. There would only be seen what is, and then intending and serving to make what is better, more wholesome, more sustainable, more based in love. And that requires dissolution of ego, resonance with tribe, dissolution of taproot feeding processes, operating from accurate information, higher level understanding. If we release ego and tribe and taproot, we have more bandwidth in which to understand more fully life, love, relationship, soul, service, self, and other.